Welcome back, everybody, to the Figure Annuity Sales podcast. It's Caleb North here. And if you're thinking that it's another week of just me, you really need to go watch the YouTube because you would see that we've got Chad Owen himself joining us back.
Yep.
Oh,
Well, I
man.
think they could tell by the voice too. I'm
What's
really a
that?
little bit well, they could tell it was me too because they'd hear my voice. They wouldn't just need to see the YouTube. Unless you learn how to do voice impersonations, which if
No,
you
I'm
could
not
do
as good as
that
Chadbot.
yeah, yeah, that's a fact. Isn't that sad? You're not as good as a robot.
Yeah, not at voice impersonations, anyways.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, man.
So what do we got going?
Well, I know it's been a doozy of a time, and you've had some
Yeah.
big goals. And I thought, you know what? 2 weeks ago you were on. We talked about some of the challenges you were facing. That
Mhm.
mentality you have of you get knocked down, you get back up. You get knocked down, you get back up. And you felt like you were kind of in that
Well, it's
interim period,
actually you get knocked down and then you get pushed down and then you get try to get and then you
kicked
get
around a
just
little bit
slammed
while you're
down and
down.
then they step on your head and then you might be able to get it for a second
Ugh.
and then, yeah, it's still a lot of the same.
Yeah,
The crazy thing is though, since the 17th of uh, July, I've issued 4.3 million
yeah.
in business and I still have another 3. I have about another 3.7 million still in pending. Now, some of that will take a while to get issued. I think I shared this before. I had a guy who's liquidating his entire residential rental properties and he's converting them all into annuities. And that's where that term infinite rental without a tenant, I
Yeah.
started that years ago. And I use that with people who want to have commercial properties or they want to have residential properties. And I just say, hey, annuity is an infinite rental without a tenant. And they love that because Colorado is actually pretty nuts, man, when it comes to certain rules. For example, to get someone out of your home, even if they're not paying, it's a 6-month minimum process.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's called the squatter law. They're allowed to go into your home even if they had this one that was 90 days where the guy just was gone. It was like his second home. He was gone and he went into his home and it took them 90 days to evict a guy that was trespassing.
That's insane.
It's like, no, I don't get it.
That is
So,
that is crazy.
I mean,
I
in
mean, that's
Texas, will take you out back and beat the tar
castle
out of you.
doctrine.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's, unfortunately, I think it's going to go that way in a lot of states. I've heard this in quite a few states where they make it super difficult to get out of a rental property. Plus, you got to deal with the higher property taxes. You got to deal with the maintenance. You got to deal with the just people taking care of your property. So, all that being said, I mean, rentals aren't what they used to be.
Yeah.
And interest rates, I mean, you trying to buy a
Oh,
rental
yeah.
property right now and rent it out, that's almost impossible to have
Yeah.
a net gain on that.
No, it's true. It's true. Yeah, you can't hardly finance anything right now and expect that what you're going to be able to charge somebody in rent. I mean, unless you had a gnarly down payment going down on
Yeah.
something. Um,
Well,
but
and a lot of people don't.
yeah,
A lot of people don't.
yeah.
So,
But I
yeah,
wanted
I
to.
mean, but
Oh, sorry.
still
Yeah.
writing business and still running appointments every single week, still getting big deals. Um, I'm hoping, excuse me, believe it or not, this is Friday today, and I'm actually running an appointment at 2 o'clock. So
That's new.
the rules have shifted a little bit because during the week I'm having to be at the house, doing things, making sure things are lined up, contractors are being taken care of. So that means I have to run some appointments on Mondays and Fridays,
So
and
you've basically had to
I
take
actually did
over
a
the
Saturday.
GC role.
Oh yeah, yep. If
That's
I've had to
crazy.
take over well, it's the third most stressful job in the United States.
General
It's
contracting.
obviously, and airline pilot is number one, or not pilot, air traffic controller,
Hmm.
and then there was some other, and then general contracting is the next. And then now general contracting, not only on your own property, but you're trying to get all the things that people said were paid, not paid, to now get paid.
Yeah.
And there it's, I mean, it's so deep. I would take, obviously Ariel's brain aneurysm is definitely the way up there
Oh yeah.
with that.
I mean,
But
y'all
we'll
had
be
a
within
whole slew
five
of things
days.
going on at that time.
Yeah. But this one is definitely the most challenging, most mentally draining, most by the end of the day, I'm just fried.
Yeah.
I mean, I am fried. Like literally baby cry fried. Just put me to bed. I'm ready to go to bed. Just, it's insane.
Well, I wanted to
But
give.
in our
Oh,
go
sorry.
ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I wanted to
I
give
was
the agents a glimpse into kind of what that looks like for you back against the wall situation to actually buckle
Mhm.
down, focus. Like what are the practical things that you're placing emphasis on? Because I think a lot of times agents can find themselves in on a smaller scale, but back against the wall trying to write some kind
Yeah.
of business at all. So what are
Yeah.
those big like income generating actionable things that you're prioritizing the action on those things?
Well, obviously, number one, I give credit to God because He just gives me a supernatural strength that I still can't figure it out. I'm exhausted. I mean, if you're watching the YouTube, you will see is like Chad looks a little run down. He looks a little beat up. Yes, I am a little beat up. But, God gives me the strength to get through these appointments. And I can tell you, you know, this is in any case, no matter what you're in, you have to be all in where you are. So if I'm in front of my client, I'm 100% focused on what do I need to do to make sure I do the best for that client. Um, if I'm with my kids, try and be as focused. Now my kids are so stinking gracious. They're like trying to take care of me.
Yeah.
They're like, Dad, what can we do for you? What we can do. And Leilani, of course, is just the saint of all saints. She's the same thing. She's just like totally trying to. She is the strong one right now, no doubt about it. She's the one that carries the piece. She's the one that really is the cheerleader going, hey, come on, you can do this, babe. So no matter what circumstance you're in life, and I use that saying once again, it's real to the puppy. My circumstance is extreme to me, and it's the worst I've ever been through. But there's people out there that are going through cancer that will probably never make it. They're on their fifth or sixth treatment. There's people out there that they have a child with some sort of disability that is life threatening, that they know there's probably not a good outcome to that. So when you put that in perspective, everything's relative. If
Right.
I would have told you something smaller before, I mean, now, unfortunately, now I have multiple magnitude of huge things where I can go, God, I just pray never get in a situation beyond this,
Yeah.
because your body, your mental, your mind, everything just gets to the point to where it wants to turn into mush and you can't think. But when you're in front, even with all that, you have to focus on being 100% engaged in that conversation, because if you mess up, you can end up having a bad situation for them too.
Yeah.
And so there's no grace in that area. It's like I'm not feeling good, so I accidentally picked the wrong product. I'm not thinking straight, so I accidentally did the wrong income plan. There's no way you can do that.
Yeah.
I met with the guy yesterday, and his idea changed midway during the plan. So I had to shift right there and go, okay, maybe we should approach it from this angle. And he liked that new angle better. So it's 100% focus. And this is where it goes, you know, fighting for years doing Krav Maga, they used to make you do the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, a muscle memory. Well, in the annuity business, I have muscle memory.
Yeah.
I can do these things in my sleep because I practice them all the time. So someone comes up with a situation, there's a good chance. I mean, how many times, Caleb, and just since you've been involved in what, 7 years or so, have
Hmm.
we done Stump the Chump?
Uh, I mean, a dozen.
You know, at least.
Yeah.
And I do it every time I'm with appointment. They're
Yep.
trying to stump with an objection. So when objections come now, it's so natural that I'm like, oh, this is what you come against. Every once in a while, you do get a different one thrown out there, but this is what we do,
Yeah.
and that's what I mean. You have to put your 100% forward every time.
Well, I love that because I think the logical answer is, oh well, I'm spending extra time calling leads, I'm making extra time to run appointments, I'm whatever. But it's actually your knee jerk response there was, I'm extremely intentional with everything that I'm doing. It's not that
Yeah,
there's any one specific thing that's going to be the end all fix all. It's ultimately comes down to writing the business,
yeah,
but within that, you've still got to be present to actually accomplish it. So the intentionality piece there is huge. And I think a massive takeaway for anybody that's listening is like, don't be letting your mind run into, whatever other things you got going on. You've got somebody on the phone. That's what you have right then and there to focus on. You're in an appointment. That's what you have right then and there. You're hanging out with your wife, your kids. That's what you have right then and there. And
hmm
I think it's even transcends, annuity production. That gets
it
into
does.
life.
Yeah,
That's just life.
it's life.
You want to
Hmm.
succeed in life, be intentional in every moment along the way. That's
You
pretty
know,
cool.
the easiest way to do that.
I
What do
mean,
you think the easiest way to be super intentional engaged with someone when you're in front of them?
I think that having a heart of genuine care helps the mind stay
For
focused.
sure, for sure.
Sometimes, I think if we're being honest, people would say, "Oh, I don't really care that much," So, to me, it would seem logical that it's just I am making the cognitive choice
Hmm.
to be focused on you. I'm not going to let my brain go do other things. But I got to
Yeah,
think you have something else to say.
I do because it's eye contact. If you are staring at someone in their eyes, it's hard to not interpret what's going on in their heart.
There's a window to the
So
soul.
it is a window to the soul. So if you got a billion things going on and you're with Allie and you can see some hurt in her eyes, what's the thing you're going to be able to focus on? You see the hurt in her eyes. So,
Yeah.
and it's probably because you caused it, but that's so you're also trying to scheme how to get out of it at the
Oh
same
yeah,
time. So,
true.
but see, I'm damaged, but I'm not broken. I can
Yeah.
still tease, I can still just a little slower in responses. But I mean, even with your parents, with friends, with
Yeah.
family, with clients, if you stare at their eyes and not creepishly, the eyes say so much.
It's true.
And I had a client actually get a little upset because she's like, well, I'm probably going to go with someone closer to me. She lives in Oregon. And she said, because then I can go in front. And she goes, because you emailed me and you didn't respond. You called me back. And I said, because in an email, I can't hear if you understand or not. I can't do that. And if I want to do a Zoom so I can at least see if you understand what I'm saying. And I think often in our relationships, we treat people like we have the screen off. We're
Hmm.
literally texting them and we're right in front of them. And unfortunately, that texting behavior has greatly affected our ability to communicate
It's true. It's
because
very
it's
true.
so you expect the text response. And if you ever try a text response with your wife or your spouse, you're in trouble. If it's a serious matter and you do a text response, that's not going to work.
Yeah. What's your
You've
rule
got
of
to,
thumb? Text, call, face to face.
yeah, text call, Zoom face to face. If they're in the area, it's text call face to face.
But I remember you
I
saying
mean,
something one time. It's like there was like a formula for it. There's like if it's just a basic thing, it's like
yeah,
a text. If it's
if it's just a basic, you're a meeting time, a quick answer to a question. But if there's any sort of emotion involved, where it could potentially go south, it's automatically a phone call. And if it's something where there is damage, or you just really want to encourage, it is definitely a face to face.
Yeah.
I think any generation, unfortunately, once again, Wally is literally coming true. And if people who don't know what I'm talking
You go
about,
watch it.
it's a Pixar, I
Yeah.
think it was Pixar cartoon. It's called Wally, and it's basically all these people that are way overweight on their little sleds staring at a screen. Often, sometimes the person's right next to them, but they're still talking to that person through
Through
the
the screen.
screen.
Yeah.
And it's the only place I can literally look at a company that mocked a particular stigma, or what do you call, stereotype, and they nailed it. And I think, unfortunately, when we're with our clients, we get that very textish type
Hmm.
communication. And you can't. You've got to hear, is there hurt? Is there hope? What do we do to really get engaged? We are huge into John and Lisa Bevere, and they have 4 boys together. And she would say, you've got to, if you're in a serious conversation, you have to get their eyes.
Mm.
You have to look at their eyes. Because otherwise, kids, I mean, they just wander all over the place or looking everywhere. You still do that. It's like trying to talk to you in a meeting. You're just wandering. Ooh, a butterfly. Ooh, look at there. Oh, there's a chicken running around. Oh,
Wide-eyed and
well,
bushy-tailed.
what kind of bovine is that over there? Like,
Oh,
but serious, this is what, even going through this challenging anxiety attacks, uh, panic attack, anxiety, never haven't gone through this before.
right.
The saving grace obviously is Jesus, but the saving grace of actual physical action is normal communication behaviors that should be done no matter what situation you're in.
Yeah, that's good. I think sometimes agents will try and take the easier way out of sending a text or an email because it's a little bit faster and whatever, you can get you can get the message there, but you don't know how it's actually interpreted. You don't know how the message is being received. And the
Yeah.
definition of good communication is that the intended message was received the intended way.
That's a good point, because the client I met with yesterday, he met with one guy before responding to a Roth IRA conversion. And through our conversation, I'm like, why are you even talking about doing a Roth IRA conversion? Well, because that was that guy's marketing system.
Yeah.
Every person they meet is a Roth IRA conversion,
Yeah.
and that's not the case. So digging through the normal fact finder, through finding out what do they really want to do, the Roth IRA conversion didn't make a sense. And then, of course, oh, that kind of went a little Italian. It didn't make a sense, but it's like, and they have this software, and they plug it in, and they do these conversions, and they use this one company every time that has this one bonus, and they make it sound like it's the say all be all, and
Hmm.
it wasn't. And he likes the idea I have way better. So, you've got to remember, life is always going to throw junk your way. And sometimes it's going to literally throw it your way, pin you to the ground. But I don't have the luxury. Like, normally, if this was a normal circumstance, I could say, you know what, hey, I'm going to take a month off. I'm going to really try and get regrounded back here. But I'm in this situation I'm in because millions of dollars are missing,
Yep.
and that we can't figure out what's going on with our home build. So we're trying to figure that out, or overbid, underbid, whatever it is. We're just trying to go through that process. So there is no checkout time,
Yeah.
and clients still need help. I have leads coming in. I think this. I pretty much, I don't get on the phone as much anymore. I have my 2 phone call setters, and thank God for them, because it's made a huge deal.
That's
There's
awesome.
plenty of times I get to 7 o'clock or my 4 o'clock calling time, and I can't. I can't call.
Yeah.
So
That's, well,
you've
more
got to
time to
have
run
backup.
appointments and hopefully more, bandwidth to do it. And, I'm
Yeah.
excited. I know we need to wrap this episode up, but I'm
Yep.
excited
Yep.
because we're knocking on the doorstep of what has historically been your best quarter of the year, Q4.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, for
so,
sure.
yeah, it's
Well,
an
you just
exciting
said
time.
August was the best month I had. No, not August.
July,
July was the best month I've had since last
last
August.
August. So, yeah, a
Yeah.
whole year.
Yeah. And I'm hoping the same thing. I'm hoping this month will actually beat next month.
Well, you're off to a
I'm
good
meeting with this
start.
guy
I mean,
today. Yep.
yeah,
We're okay, bud. Well, I
awesome,
appreciate
man.
it. And uh,
Yeah.
happy selling.
Thanks for being on, Chad.